Well, 9.3 hit. And when I have time, I'm going to buy the KV-1S, the new one, the Tier 5. My son Ryan has it already. He loves it. He said it's basically a better KV-1 because it's a little faster moving. And the gun seems like it works a little better, I guess. I don't know. I've had some really good luck with my KV-1. We'll have to find out. Here's the KV-85. There's not a whole lot going on this weekend. It's the Art of War weekend, and what that has to do with Chinese tanks, I don't know, aside from them being on sale. So we'll take a look at a couple Chinese tanks, too, but I just wanted to say, hey, here's 9.3, and here's the new KV-85, replacing my KV-1S that I had for, 9 or 10 battles, and it's going to be missed already. So far, I like this tank. I'm averaging between 1 and 2 kills a battle. Whereas with the KV-1S, I was literally getting 3 to 5. I think in the 7 or 8 games I played, and a lot of those were strongholds, actually. I know in the 4 games that I played in the pub matches, I had 14 kills. It's pretty good. In the strongholds, it wasn't as many, but I still did fairly well. And we won 3 of the 4 strongholds we played, so... let's take a look at the service record for this so far. Yeah, so for those of you who have been playing it, I mean, it's not a bad tank. And I'm sure everybody that had a KV-1S has been trying this thing out. There were a lot of them in the battlefield last night. I think it's going to make strongholds more fun, honestly, having a non-derper. Yeah, 9 battles so far, almost an 80% win rate. 704 XP per battle. That's really, really high. That's actually a lot of experience per battle. So, in fact, if we look at my overall performance here, that's my... it's already, my 5th highest tank. And so far, of course, it's really, really low on the battle count. 9 is nothing really, but so far I've been able to carry a pretty high win rate. That's going to go way down, though. Well, I don't know, way down, but I would imagine we'll probably hit the... the 60s, the low 60s. That seems to be where I am when I get newer tanks. So, all right. So this is cool. I like it. I like I said, it's not the greatest tank ever. And my crew, of course, look at my crew here. They're not even 100% yet. So some of these guys have perk, but some of them don't. So I think it's just going to get better. So anyway, we will do a review of this soon. I want to play maybe like 20 or 30 more battles before I give it, a full review. But so far I like. So today we are going to actually talk Chinese because that's what's on sale. I don't have a lot of Chinese tanks. In fact, I've only got 3. This one is not on sale this weekend. Interestingly, you'd think if they were putting all the Chinese tanks on sale, they would put the Chinese premium on sale. But nope. This isn't on sale, and the T-34-1 is not on sale, and the 112 is not on sale. So we're going to take a look at these 2 tanks. First of all, the 5916, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and then we'll take it for a battle. I like to run this tank with a camo net, though I probably should really change this to something different, and eventually I probably will. So we have the 5916. 5916 is kind of like the Lux on Tier 6 for me. I don't know why I do well with this tank. A lot of people hate this. Everybody hates this tank except for me and my friend Soph. He really liked his, too. We kept him. There's something about this little tank I dig. First of all, it's really fast. With a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, it's not the fastest scout out there, but it gets to its top speed very quickly. It reverses very quickly. The traverse speed is 54, turret traverse to 48. Very high numbers. So this thing is really, really mobile and a lot of fun to play. Now, I am using the top gun, which is an autoloader. You can fire 1 shot. It works very much like the French, but half. So it aims faster, does a lot less damage, but you can fire 5 or 6 shots pretty quickly and take an arty out, especially if you're close. On the move, it's not so great, but it's a good little gun. It's actually not bad, and it reminds me very much of the Lux. Now, as you can see, we have really low penetration of 85. And our average damage is only 115. So those numbers, I mean, the damage is okay for an autoloader, but the pen is really low. But heck, guys, it's a scout tank. You're really not supposed to be shooting people. But in the Chinese line, that is a possibility, and we'll go over that when we get to the WZ-131, which is the next tank. So Let's take a real quick look at my service record with this, and then we'll take it for a ride. I do really well with this tank. I don't know why, but I have a 57% win rate with a scout tank. And I'm terrible with scout tanks, so I don't know why this is so high. And I definitely don't do a lot of kills. I mean, look at, we're doing maximum destroyed per battle 3. My average damage ratio is really low, you know. But at 100 battles, I love this tank. I don't know. People, like I said, a lot of people hate it, but I think it's a lot of fun, and service record shows that it performs for me. So let's go ahead and take it for a run. No promises. It is early afternoon, and most players suck around now, so we'll probably get a bad team. But oh, man, I'm already negative. Let's go back to the positive. Let's take this guy for a ride. It's fun. So here we are in Prokhorova, and I'm going to go over to the hill.
开始行动。
But you can see, I mean, the speed is pretty decent, and we're already, you know, 59 kilometers per hour. We reached it pretty quickly, and that is very important for a scout tank. Now, is this thing as good as like a 1375 or 1390? No, because it's bigger, and I mean, that does create some problems. But you can see here, it's very agile. It turns really quickly. It just moves very quickly. It's a fast-moving little tank. Scoot up here. See what we see. Now, unfortunately, I don't have Sixth Sense yet, and that's just a huge thing for a scout tank to have. You really need to have Sixth Sense. So I can't tell when I'm spotted. I have pretty good camo values. In fact, I would think they're yelling at me for scouting the hill. I'm just ignoring him. Oops. And I'm getting shot. Look, I'm taking the hits, though. So it has some survivability. It's definitely not super durable by any means. So we see over here. Once again, it would help having Sixth Sense. That would definitely help this tank a lot. But got a bad team overall. 1058. I can't get a beat on him. Pardon me. Yep. Good. Good. spotted. So you can see the gun. It's hit or miss. Let me guess. Our T-20 that was yelling at me is already dead. No, he's still alive. No kills, though. Come on, guys. Take a shot at that thing. This might be it. You can tell, you know. What is our Carnarvon doing? Take a shot, dude. Oh well. Yeah, thanks for the help, guys. Oh well. You know, scouting is it can be fun. It's a little frustrating, but you know, I like doing it. You can tell when it's over though. When you have a tank in more of the ridge and nobody bothers to come help you, it's whatever. Good game. We'll still win this. So you can see, despite what this T-20 was saying, and he looks like a decent player, but look at all these spots that I had. You know, and then on top of it, look where I scored. Tier 8 match. I was the bottom tank, or second bottom tank to the VK. Oh, look, here's the guy that was yelling at me. He only scored nothing. Idiot. Anyway, don't tell me how to drive my tank. Here we go. All right, so, yeah, damage caused with my assistant, over 2,000 damage. I did hit 3 shots, penetrated 3 shots, did 249 damage. That was the ELC AMX that I hit. Lucky he didn't finish me off. Made 11,000 credits. Yeah, this is a fun tank. You know what? I really do enjoy this little thing, and I think it's definitely a worthwhile tank. Like I said, there's people that just hate it, but it feels to me like the Lux. It's just fast all the time. So you're always moving quickly, and when you stop and then turn around and accelerate, you're just gone. And that's something that, like the Leopard, I sold the Leopard the other day. I couldn't handle it anymore. It's just so sluggish. And the T-50, same thing. So this is a really good light tank, and I'm, you know, kind of on this light tank kick because all these new light tanks came out, and I'm like, man, I want to play. So, so I guess last but not least, but it's really only the second tank we're looking at, is the WZ-131. I do terribly with this tank, but I love it. I've only got a 44% win rate. Definitely under 100 battles. Let's see. Oop, wrong one. Wrong. Okay, let me close this. We have, yeah, 47. Well, that's better than it was. I was at 44 when I started playing the other night, so maybe I'm starting to get a hang of this thing better. However, you can see maximum destroyed per battle 5. And 94 battles. Yeah, still a pretty low win rate, but I can change that, and I'm going to work on it. It's a getting the hang of this thing. It's basically a much faster T-44 with no armor. In fact, the gun is almost identical to the T-44's gun, with more penetration, though. So here you got 181 penetration, and on the medium T-44 Russian tank, which, like I said, it feels like, to me, it feels like it plays like that tank, but with no armor. The gun is, yeah, 175, 250. So this one has a little bit less damage, but a little bit more pen. And that makes a big difference, especially because you can flank. Yeah, no, damage is the same, 250. Fast aim time, slow load time. It takes about 7 seconds to reload this gun. You could also use an 85 millimeter, which is a much faster loading gun. You can get probably twice off. But however, it's lower penetration. Though, you know what? For a Tier 7 Scout, 159 is not bad penetration, and 200 damage is pretty good. So some guys like running the 85 millimeter, the 64 85T. I prefer the 100 millimeter because, you know, with a Scout, it's one shot and then you're running. And so this tank to me plays like a medium light. It's more of a light tank than it is a scouting tank. And when I say that, I mean you can scout with it, but more often than not, you're mobile. You're not going to stop and really use camouflage to your advantage. You're going to use the gun and the mobility, and that's going to be key. So almost like a, you know, Hellcat or something. I don't know. I guess the top speed is 60. Good traverse speed, 54 once again, and 48 on the turret traverse. So really, pretty much the same stats as the 5916, except for this tank definitely does not accelerate as quickly. It's more of a slug. So, but it's still fast. Don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't have the zip that the 5916 has. But it's good, and you have to use that to your advantage. If you can't utilize that, you're going to die. Now, I do find with this tank, oftentimes I'm one of the top scorers. However, our team still loses. So, you know, it's a hard thing in light tanks, and that's the thing that I struggle with and why I don't play them as much, because it really is difficult to make a difference in a light tank. You can do it, and a good light tank can light the board up and really, you know, let the artillery flourish, but it's hard to make battle-changing decisions. And, you know, like the KV-220 in a Tier 5 battle, you're just going to ram the crap out of everybody. You're almost never going to be in a pure Tier 7 battle with this tank. And even then, you may not have enough armor to make the difference. So, a decent health pool at 880. And, you know, like I said, there's no armor. 35 hull, 45, those are the big numbers on the front. Everything else is smaller, so it's not doing it. But you need to use your mobility as your strength. Decent view range, 390. Plus with the goggles, you're over 400, the optics. So, you know, your 3 was at 420. So it's okay view range. Not great, but it's good. So let's go ahead and run this bad boy. Yeah, this tank seems to get a lot of Tier 8 battles. We're looking at, you know, I'd say 3 out of 5. You get some Tier 9 battles. Occasionally you get a Tier 10 battle, if I remember right. Though they might have changed that. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played this tank, so I can't say for sure, you know, what the current tiering is. But you know, if we can get a win. But like I said, once again, it's the hard thing is you're a scout. So even though you can kind of do some medium-esque things, you don't have any armor, and that's a disadvantage for sure. Plus you die fast. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't do well. I'm more of an aggressive player, and maybe I should be less aggressive with a scout tank, but I can't help it. Which is probably why I don't last as long, which means that's why the teams don't do as well. I don't know. Scouting is important to the tanks, but it's a hard thing to do, and it's hard to feel important because it seems like a lot of times people don't bother using the intel that you provide, and you know, now they've released a whole bunch of new scouts. Though, you know, honestly, I have only seen the Chaffee replacement, the M37. I haven't seen any of these new, you know, big scout tanks that are coming out. And I guess the backing up is not so fast, and that can cause problems. But T44. Here's where Sixth Sense would really come in handy, because I can sit here. Am I spotted? I don't know. Maybe. I wish I knew, but I don't. I don't see anybody aiming at me, so I'm assuming that I'm not. But I guess you probably should always assume that you are. Oh, brother. And now I'm going to have to fight for my life. I got the M225. Chaffee. M225. Yeah, we're going to take hits now. Hit him. Covering their eyes. Chaffee's out there somewhere, but it looks like, well, it looks like we got a pretty good hang on this game. So far, it's going in our favor. Uh-oh, T-3045. Why can't these guys be kind of swing around here. Depends on which T-34 you talk about. Come on, boys. Reload it. Reload it. Come on, come on. Stutters. Got him. 69 aware of my presence. He probably is, so I'm going to back down. I wanted that Chaffee, but 69 is just going to rip me to shreds. I really don't want that happening. Deal with that, though. This is going well. These poor guys, they got cornered in the back. Maybe they should have moved out. I think this dude's reloading. Wow. We ripped them apart. Pretty good game. So occasionally you get a win, but I will tell you, I did 2 other battles that were miserable losses, so... But yeah, so this is kind of like a little knife fighter, if you will. It's got speed and agility and no armor, but it's got a good gun, and it's kind of a fun tank to play. Goodbye. 4 kills. That's a game we're saving. Oh, and look, speaking of knife fighter, here we got a bruiser. At least 5 times. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Did fire for effect. This is a cool new damage caused by ramming or setting enemy vehicle on fire. Weird. I don't remember setting anybody fire, but I guess I did. Destroy 4 of 5 enemy vehicles in 1 battle. Oh, interesting. These are all new medals that just came out with this patch. So that's a good game. And, you know, I did very well in the score, obviously. This is how I've been playing this tank lately, which is why I went from 44% up to 47 or 46 or whatever. But, yeah, makes decent credits. Not great, but for a tier 7 tank, that's not bad. Direct hits. That gun is really what does it, you know. So let's take a look here at some of the other battles. I want you to see these two, just so you know it's not all roses. Let's see here. Was it 3? No, that was where we lost at that. Okay, so boop. We'll look at this battle here. I got 3 spots. Did 900 spotting damage, regular 100 damage. Did the best I could. Kind of scored up the middle, you know. But this is a tier 8 battle. And just, our team didn't do well. Now, these are all tier 6s and 7s, but the I6 did terrible. But, yeah, so there's frustratingness, you know. And then a second battle where... I still did well, and I didn't do bad on this battle, but, you know, here's another tier 8 battle. I scored better than most of the other tier 8 tanks on our team. Still not stellar, though. More damage. It's just frustrating. So don't get the idea that you're going to win every battle, and that's why I have the win rate that I have. It's not a higher than 50% win rate. But I think it's a fun tank, and you saw in that last battle what battles can be. They're not all going to be like that, but if your team is good... you're going to make a difference, and you're going to get to do lots of damage, which is incredible with a scout tank. Really, to do 1,500 damage in a scout is good. You know, now I've seen guys do way more than that, but it's, you know, for me, in a scout tank, that's a pretty good damage roll. So this is a fun tank. I do think it's worthwhile grinding, too, and I'm enjoying it again. And I don't think I ever disliked the tank. I think a couple, maybe like 7 or 8 months ago, I went through my garage, and any tank that was below 50% that was not a premium tank, I dumped. So that's probably why I dumped this tank. But I think with the right amount of practice, I can get this up above 50%, hopefully. And I'll keep you up to date with that. We'll do a full review on this later. But like I said, both of these tanks are fun. They're both going to be 30% off. And, you know, if you like scouting and you want fast little tanks that actually have decent guns, and these both have good guns. I think the guns are enjoyable on these tanks, and they actually work, and you can penetrate stuff. And I don't ever feel like a lot of scouts where I'm, like, bouncing stuff. These two they're a lot of fun. So anyway, those are my 2 cents for the weekend. Have a great weekend. Be sure to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys around. Bye.